Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 3G podcast. This week, we are going to be doing our predictions for the WWE pay-per-view, first of its kind, I think, called Stomping Grounds, which to me is almost like a replay of Super Showdown. But we will be doing our predictions, and we will do predictions for every pay-per-view and result shows for every pay-per-view. We have, as a group, decided that we will be doing at least one weekly show. Topic could be anything from a review of shows to rating some of our favorite wrestling topics. And also, sometimes we could be doing more than one show per week. But we are committed to doing one show per week for now, and we'll see how it goes. I do want to say, before we get into the predictions for Stomping Grounds, does anyone have any topics from this past week that they'd want to bring up from either Raw or SmackDown or from just wrestling in general?
I don't think so. I think that both Raw and SmackDown they seemed like repeats of the previous week. And I think that's why we weren't so eager to get the reviews out on time, because we could have just republished the last week's episodes and it would have covered pretty much everything. I'm going to run through my notes real quick just to see if there's anything of importance.
And while you're doing that, SmackDown more than ever, I know we traded notes during the show that it was almost like a carbon copy of last week's show. Raw wasn't as much of a carbon copy, but general theme applied. It was a faster paced moving show, I thought Raw was. There was a little more content to it. Thought it was okay compared to SmackDown. SmackDown has been a complete letdown in past weeks, basically because they're just extending Raw into SmackDown, and I don't know how this is going to play out while they're going to get ready to switch to Fox in October.
Yeah, now that I think about it, Raw was not as bad as SmackDown, and it definitely wasn't as boring to sit through as the previous Raw. Raw had some pretty good segments and matches. Looking at my notes, there were two things that I saw real quick. So the first thing is, I just wanted to bring up EC3 real quick. And so you guys saw the whole thing with the referee and how he was going to be the special guest referee. Seth Rollins laid him out with a steel chair, and then the New Day came out, and they were basically propping EC3 up like he was a puppet. And he just looks miserable on TV. I know he's supposed to be playing a character, but you can just see right through it. He just doesn't look like he's happy at all.
It's so disappointing to see what's going on with EC. If this is indeed EC3's, destiny in the WWE to be what he is now, and now he's running around with Drake Maverick, chasing the 24/7 title. I'm not sure. I think Josh, you brought it up. Maybe B, you did, about maybe have Drake Maverick manage EC3 or something and try to build him up. But I mean, we often talk about wasted talent. What a waste of talent this would be for the WWE to just drop EC3. And the fans, you hear more and more fans that are just saying the same thing we are. They just feel horrible that EC3, with the talent that he has, is just being buried into what I call the catering crew.
Yeah, that's actually why I wanted to bring it up, because I've noticed on social media a lot of people are getting behind him and doing hashtags for him and stuff. So I think most people are sad to see where he is, and hopefully either he is able to get out of his contract or just wait it out. But it's just a sad situation for someone that talented. Do you have anything to add or no?
The Firefly Funhouse. It could play into the next few weeks.
Yeah,
that was probably the last episode that they're going to do.
Before we get into it, I did hear that they taped 8 episodes, and that was the 8th. So it looks like any day now, Bray Wyatt should be progressing with his character on TV.
And I hope, that show has been amazing, and this week's episode I thought was great as well. So
one of the best.
Yeah, if they extend it into his in-ring performances, I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe he brings the Funhouse into the ring a little bit with some guests. That would be pretty bizarre.
Yeah.
But they've got a golden opportunity here with this character. Let's hope they do the right thing with it. One other thing I did want to mention too, for kind of not as much of a waste of talent as EC3, but they're doing the same thing with Eric Young.
Oh yeah.
I don't like Eric Young's look now, and his voice annoys me. But he's a charismatic guy. He knows how to wrestle. I think they're wasting him as well. And another note from Raw was it was nice to see the Viking Raiders at least be on the show, even if it was a 2-minute squash match, which led to R-Truth and Carmella in the crowd, the whole 24/7 thing. But it was nice to see the Viking Raiders actually wrestle for the first time in weeks.
Yep, definitely. I wish they would face some actual credible talent. I remember at the Super Showdown Battle Royal, they did a little face-off with the Authors of Pain and Heavy Machinery, and I think either of those feuds would be really interesting to see on TV. Hopefully the AOP is back on TV soon as well. And also the last thing, AJ Styles and Gallows and Anderson, the backstage segment on Raw, where they showed up, Gallows and Anderson showed up pretending to be the doctors backstage, and then AJ basically told him to get serious and try to knock some sense into him. I honestly think that AJ should turn heel when he makes his in-ring return, and if he turns heel and aligns himself with Gallows and Anderson, I think that would be a great way to get not only Gallows and Anderson on TV, but also change up AJ's character a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we were saying the other day the lack of good heel stables. Styles coming back from injury, this would be perfect timing for Gallows and Anderson as well, who I think signed a new contract. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I know Styles did.
Yeah, Styles did.
So it's perfect opportunity to do this, and they've got great chemistry together as well. I did have one more note from Raw, which was the Daniel Bryan Seth Rollins match.
Oh yeah,
could have been a classic match without the interruption and restart of the match. That match should have run through as a classic one-on-one match in my opinion.
I agree. It was very overbooked, and I think Daniel Bryan said something along the lines of I don't know if he said he should be champion or something about Seth Rollins not being a credible world champion. I don't know, something like that. But I do think that I would much rather see Daniel Bryan in Seth Rollins' role right now than Seth Rollins. That's just how much of a fan I am of Daniel Bryan and his heel work lately.
He's being underutilized right now as a heel.
I would agree
that he is. He has the ability to play a heel or a face great. Very few people can do that. I think he's one of them. He is a great heel. The tag team championship thing is okay, but he's better as being a singles competitor. Maybe if he has Rowan with him, that's fine. But them as tag team champions, I think, is just kind of a holding spot right now for Bryan for some reason. And I think he'll probably get more of a singles push again with maybe a little revamp of his character even more.
Yeah, hopefully.
I could see them doing something down the line with Roman Reigns and him feuding. That could be a good feud with some good matches that they could do if they're going to have Roman beat Shane for the title, as we have talked about.
You made some leaps and bounds into the future, huh?
I mean, I have some of it planned out in my head of how it could go. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about, some stuff that was happening on Twitter and YouTube, is Matt Hardy. He seemed to have debuted like a new gimmick almost on Twitter. He was just talking about like things that like anybody would give like a lot of money for to do, and he was just like, you don't know how hard it is to be Matt Hardy.
Yeah, basically I don't know, did you see it?
No, I didn't.
So it's him on Twitter making these little like 1-minute videos. I think the last one was him at Disneyland, I think. He was with his family, but they weren't in the video. It was just Matt Hardy doing a promo, and there was like some loud carousel music in the background, and Matt Hardy was like, oh, I have to be here in the 90-degree heat. I can't cut my promo because the music's too loud. Like, it's basically just him being a snob and complaining about stuff that goes on every day, but he's making a big deal about it. And I think if they want to get a good character back on TV for anybody, that's a good character for TV. He can complain about fans, he can complain about commentary, anything like that.
That would be good. We all know Matt Hardy has got a very creative mind. You know, he did create the whole Broken Matt Hardy when it had its prime time. It was really good, even if it was in TNA. That was all created by Matt Hardy. So yeah. I'll check it out, guys. I haven't seen that yet. I'll definitely take a look at it.
Yep, definitely do. I think that's it for, I guess we can call it like sort of a weekly roundup of stuff that happens on Raw and SmackDown, and I'm sure that's what we'll do in a more lengthy fashion on the weekly shows. And
I did watch NXT this week, guys, and it was a good show. The main event was good. I didn't like that Velveteen was pinned in the main event, but...
Well, I think that's good for them to build a feud with him and Roderick Strong, because if you put those two in the ring together, that match could have potential
Yeah.
for
The reason I
an
don't have a
amazing
problem
match.
with it is because it's not like NXT to pin their champions on TV. So when a champion does get pinned on NXT, it means something and it's a big deal. So they obviously are going to do something with Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream.
So you think they're going to push Strong for the North American Championship and
Yes.
kind of head towards what Adam Cole talked about as far as, them having all the gold in NXT and controlling NXT?
Yeah, and I don't know if did you read spoilers for NXT?
Yeah,
I did not.
I did.
Yeah, don't talk about them because we don't want to.
They don't want to
People
spoil
don't
it for
want to be
everyone.
spoiled, but
Alright.
just know that the North American title situation is looking interesting.
I also like, the redo of the beginning of NXT.
Oh, yeah,
I
that was
thought that was
hilarious.
great. So NXT, again, continues to be entertaining, maybe more entertaining than, even though it's taped and it's, 4 shows taped, and you could go read the spoilers, watching it is still very entertaining.
NXT, this is bold, but NXT, in my opinion, is the best product in North America right now. The best
That's
wrestling
not
product.
a bold. That's you'll get a lot of people, including myself, to agree with you.
Yep, I would agree. I also just want to say the last thing about NXT, and then I'm sure we'll move on. I felt like, I know you didn't read the spoilers, Jimmy. You did, Kyle. But I felt like NXT is kind of moving forward now. Like because to me, there have been eras of NXT. So you had the beginning era of NXT with Tyler Breeze and Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, guys like that. And then you moved into the not so great era, in my opinion, with Bobby Roode and Nakamura and stuff. That era was a little boring to me. And then my favorite era of NXT was with Ricochet, Aleister Black, EC3, Lars Sullivan, guys like that.
Ciampa.
Yeah. Now I feel like they're moving towards a newer era. Some of those guys got phased out, like Aleister Black and Ricochet. I feel like they're kind of moving forward now, and NXT's feeling refreshed a little bit to me.
Which is great, and bringing guys up from, let's say, scratch, right?
Yeah.
Into the fold, it is refreshing. That's a good term to use.
Okay, so anything else, guys? I think we're gonna do.
I think we're good. I think let's dive into the prediction show. And by the way, everyone, for we do a predictions show here, and our predictions will kind of stick into a point system that we do. Maybe we'll share that with you soon. We've been doing it since last year,
Royal Rumble.
and we have our own unique scoring system and have a running total in first, second, and third place. I'm in first, but
Not by much.
I've
Only
been
by
in
a few
first.
points.
I've been in first, and maybe we'll just, at the end of when we do the results show, we'll kind of give our tally, just kind of for fun for everyone.
Yeah, all right. So let's get into the Stomping
Let's
Grounds
do it.
predictions here. So the Cruiserweight Championship, we have the Cruiserweight Champion Tony Nese taking on Drew Gulak and Akira Tozawa in a triple threat match. I guess I'll start. I'm going to say that as much as I want Drew Gulak to win, I think Drew Gulak is a great wrestler, a great technical wrestler. He's done some matches on NXT recently, just showcasing how great he is. But I just don't think Tony Nese is ready to lose the title yet. I think maybe Akira Tozawa will take the pin here, and then Drew Gulak will get another opportunity later on. So I think Tony Nese for now is going to keep the title.
So I think Drew Gulak is gonna win just because it's a triple threat match and Akira Tozawa can take the pinfall. In this case, Drew Gulak has rebuilt his character kind of
Yeah,
in the past few weeks, and I definitely think that him and Tony Nese could have a great feud. Even if Gulak wins now, they could have a great title feud.
So I think I'm tending to agree with Josh that Tony Nese hasn't really, held the title that long. For him to lose it this quickly would be, I don't know, kind of weird. Maybe they're going to build something up with him. Gulak has been pushed several times in different ways. But for this match, I don't think he's a good wrestler, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's worthy of the title right now. It would either be Gulak or Nese, and I'm going to stick with Nese on this one with Josh, but I wouldn't be shocked if Gulak won. But I'm going to say Tony Nese.
I think this character for Gulak is going to be the one that sticks and helps him propel himself into maybe a championship run, because his previous characters have been maybe a little comedic. I don't think the way he wrestles it doesn't coincide with comedy, in my opinion. But okay, the next match, the New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag team match. I'm going to go with Owens and Zayn here. I think that the New Day have been booked very strong lately. Owens and Zayn have not been doing much, and I think because of a later prediction in the show with Kofi Kingston, I think it's okay if Owens and Zayn take the win here.
So I'm going to go with, and I'm not copying you, so I'll go first next time if you want.
Okay.
But Owens and Zayn, I'm going to go with a couple of things. I mean, this the New Day. It's gotten so old with me for a while now. I don't, they're still over with some of the fans. I just, Kofi Kingston's the champion. It'll be interesting to see when he loses the title, what happens with the New Day. But I'm going to go to Owens and Zayn. I do hate the fact that Owens and Zayn are in a tag team again.
Yeah.
But for this, I'm not going to really get into that right now. I'll just go with my pick, Owens and Zayn. I'll be surprised if the New Day wins, and there's no reason for them to win.
No, yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna say the New Day, and so the New Day does not need this win at all. Owens and Zayn do, but if you look at past results of his shows, it doesn't look like anything's changing. So nothing leads me to believe that the New Day isn't gonna win.
Okay.
All right. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match is Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery.
The Yolo County Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
So I'll go first on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Heavy Machinery is ready for the Tag Team Championship yet. As much as I want Daniel Bryan to move into more singles competition, I'm going to stick with Rowan and Bryan. The only reason why they would make them lose is because maybe they want to push Bryan for a bigger match at SummerSlam. So maybe, possibly, but other than Heavy Machinery, the tag team division on SmackDown, and I don't know, are AOP on SmackDown? Because I saw them in the SmackDown. They were backstage, so maybe they are on SmackDown. They just haven't wrestled yet. Heavy Machinery is the only viable contender on that show, but I don't think they're going to win the titles. I think I'm going to stick with Bryan and Rowan to win.
I'm actually gonna go with Heavy Machinery in this one, and it's because I feel like this SmackDown Tag Team division needs something right now, because it really has nothing right now. How many tag teams are on SmackDown?
There's a few, but none of them are used. Like the B team aren't used.
Do they count?
Yeah, technically, but they shouldn't.
I don't think that Bryan and Rowan should be a tag team. I think that they should just be how they were when Bryan was WWE champion. And Heavy Machinery they're both great wrestlers, and I think the SmackDown Tag Team division needs something like that right now.
Well, here's the thing. If you say Daniel Bryan should be singles and you give Heavy Machinery the titles, then you're even in a worse situation than you were before, because if you say there's no competition now, what's it going to be like if Daniel Bryan is not in a tag team?
Because I think as soon as they lose the titles, they're not really going to wrestle as a tag team anymore.
Yeah, so to that, I'm going to predict Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I do think eventually Heavy Machinery will get the titles. I just think the SmackDown Tag Team division needs to be built up a little more, and more competition needs to be established before a team like that is given the titles. I think Daniel Bryan and Rowan are going to be a good team to kind of hold that division on their backs for now until more competition is built. The next match is the United States Championship, Samoa Joe versus Ricochet.
Now, I know for every title match, I've already predicted a new champion. This one is, I've been thinking about this one, and I really haven't, thought of anything. You could make the argument that Joe just obtained the title, but he did not win it. He just got it. So this match has a lot of potential to be a good match. It also has potential to be a 1-minute match. You know how it goes sometimes with these type of matches. I'm gonna say Ricochet. I don't know why they would push him like this early on if they're not gonna give him a title yet. I don't know. So
I definitely don't think this is a 1-minute match. These two are very talented. This has potential to be a very good match, I think. Styles complement each other pretty well. I don't see Samoa Joe holding the title. I see Ricochet beating him. This is a tough match for me to predict, but I do think, Ricochet is very talented. He's very over with the fans. I think an early title push is good for him. And, I feel bad for Samoa Joe because I'm not sure what kind of push he'll get after this. But I'm going to say Ricochet will win the United States Championship.
I'm gonna go with my gut here and stick with Samoa Joe. I again, like I said, with Heavy Machinery, I do think Ricochet will get the United States Championship. I just think that they're going to extend this a little bit and maybe have a few matches. I don't think this will be a one-off because I think these two guys can put on a great match. I think this will be the match of the night on Sunday. And I think that Samoa Joe, for the most part, has been booked pretty strong since he's won the title. He's definitely had some questionable losses as the champion, but for the most part, he's looked pretty dominant. And I just don't think that Ricochet is going to get the job done the first time, but I think this will definitely be an extended feud.
So you think maybe a feud leading through SummerSlam or something?
Yeah, possibly. But then again, you do have those other guys who were contenders for the title. So, I don't know, but...
What other guys? Cesaro, Braun Strowman, The Miz, Bobby Lashley. Yeah, The Miz, Braun Strowman, I don't see winning the United States title. I don't know. You're right. Maybe, maybe they do throw them into the mix somehow, but I guess we'll see.
I'm going to go with my gut and say Samoa Joe. The SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. So, I don't know about you guys, but from their build on SmackDown, where they had the what do you call it? What's that talk show called Alexa Bliss has?
Moment of Bliss.
Moment of Bliss, yeah, there it is. I couldn't think of it. But they had the back and forth promo, and Bayley they both got fired up. And I think that it
was a good promo, actually.
Yeah,
it was a good exchange.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, that promo made me excited for this match because I wasn't really to begin with. So I think this also has potential to be kind of a sleeper match and a pretty good match.
Remember Nikki Cross at ringside?
Yeah, you have the element of Nikki Cross, which makes me say that I'm going to predict Bayley. I don't think that the partnership of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross is going to last much longer. I think somehow Nikki Cross is going to do something to Alexa Bliss and distract her or something, and Bayley's going to win, and then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are going to slowly start breaking up. So that's why I'm going to choose Bayley.
I'm going to definitely agree with Bayley. I don't think she's ready to lose the title yet, especially after having her cash in at Money in the Bank. I think it's way too soon for her to lose the title. I definitely could see the same thing happening or something similar with Nikki Cross. I think they won't have them immediately break up. I think it will drag on for at least a few weeks, maybe.
I agree.
So unfortunately, I'm going to go with Bayley. I don't think she's a great champion. But, Alexa Bliss has been back and forth with injury. I think she's kind of back full time now. I don't think they're going to put the SmackDown Women's title on her immediately. If they are, then they really, really like her. I just don't see that happening. Definitely Nikki Cross will be a factor in the match and somehow inadvertently probably make Bliss lose or disqualify. I hate to have disqualification or something, but something like weird will happen so that Bayley does win and some strife starts between Bliss and Nikki Cross. The only reason why I would say that Bliss might win it is because if they didn't put the tag team championships on them on SmackDown the other night, which makes you doubt a little bit that Bayley would win. But I'm still going to stick with Bayley. I'm sticking with you guys.
Remember, Alexa Bliss is also on Raw, right? Yeah.
It doesn't matter, though. At this point, when you saw the wild cards, there was 11 on Raw, so it doesn't matter.
It's 4 turned into 8, turned into...
It's Raw Super Show now.
Yeah.
And
I think it's...
And Tuesday's Raw replay.
No, it's Raw A and Raw B.
Yep.
Okay, we can't forget about the bathroom break, Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans.
The bathroom break.
Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, the Raw Women's
Championship.
Oh my
God, you don't see any quality in that match at all?
I am not looking for... I would be more looking forward to a main event match between, Dana Brooke and somebody than this match, honestly. I just don't want to see this again. It didn't do anything for me the first time. The build-up hasn't been anywhere near as interesting as it should be. And I don't think Lacey Evans should win the title yet. I do think she will in the future, like I said with everyone else, but not yet. And Becky Lynch is going to, in my opinion, hold on to her Raw Women's Championship.
So Lacey Evans is a future champion, but a future champion not at Stomping Grounds. I don't think she's ready for the title yet. She's a good heel character. She needs a little more time. I don't think they're ready to have Becky Lynch have no belts after all that big build-up and the WrestleMania she had, and Becky 2 belts, and she couldn't hold both belts forever. So I think she's going to hold on. I think, at least a SummerSlam run for her with the Raw Women's title.
Yeah, I agree with Becky Lynch winning. If you pick Lacey Evans to win and you somehow get it right, go buy yourself a lottery ticket, because there's not really a good chance of that happening. I could definitely see it like down the line a little more, maybe in a few pay-per-views, but hopefully they don't have any more pay-per-view matches for a while, because has Lacey Evans like won a match in a...
There was a tag team match a few weeks ago. I think it was her and Alexa Bliss against Becky Lynch and Bayley.
But she hasn't really done anything to earn this match again.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. She hasn't been on... But then again, the way they book their championship contenders is not... I don't agree with it.
Yeah, look at Dolph Ziggler. And
yeah, they pretty much throw whoever they want in there.
Yeah.
Okay, Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. This is one of the most polarizing picks for me. And I think this match, like, on one hand, you look at their WrestleMania match, and then they had the WrestleMania rematch on Raw, and Roman Reigns won both of them. And both those matches weren't that great. However, with these two guys, I just think they've been holding back a little bit. I think they're capable of putting on a better match. And I want to say Drew McIntyre is going to win, but I don't know, because I always want to pick Roman Reigns, but if I look at the past few weeks, he's been booked like a loser. So,
is there any special stipulation here? Is Shane McMahon allowed at ringside?
They haven't said he's not.
So there is going to be that. It would be, to me, a travesty if Drew McIntyre loses again to Roman Reigns. Like, why bother having the match? I think it helps build Shane somehow interferes and McIntyre wins. That's how he'll win. He's not going to win clean, because that's just how the WWE works. God forbid, right? If Shane interferes somehow, or even the Revival, they may be around too.
Yeah.
Drew wins based on that. That helps build that big feud with Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns for the future, I think, because I think they're going to go a different direction with Shane pretty soon.
Could you see them doing something where Shane tries to help Drew and ends up screwing Drew over, and then Drew...
You mean running that whole narrative about how Shane screws everybody, that The Miz was...
Yeah, and then Drew McIntyre gets pissed off at him.
But then you're going to push Drew as a face, which I don't think is good.
Yeah, that's true, because of what he did with Heath Slater on Monday.
I don't think they're going to do that yet. Maybe eventually.
Yeah. So I have 3 scenarios in my head right now, and 2 of them are long term. One of them is just...
I don't think WWE thinks too long term.
I think actually all of them are long term.
I think they think more than one scenario at a time.
So you have the factor of Shane somehow screwing Drew into a loss, and then Drew is pushed as a babyface. I don't really see that happening.
But why would they do that now with this whole feud?
No, yeah.
And then you have the factor of Shane screwing Roman into a loss, and then they have a 1-on-2 handicap match at... I believe that the next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules next month.
Yes.
All right. So they have that, and then the story is that Roman Reigns overcomes both of them. And then also you just have Roman winning, and then Shane getting the WWE title at Extreme Rules, and then the main event of SummerSlam is Roman Reigns overcoming Shane McMahon to win the title.
That's not a bad scenario. So what's your prediction for the match?
My prediction is the last one I said, where Roman wins and Shane eventually gets the title, which is not going to make any sense for my WWE title prediction, but I'm just going to go with it.
Okay.
I don't know if I said it, but with all the factors, I'm going to actually pick Drew McIntyre just because of this factor of Shane, maybe the Revival. I'm going to say Drew just because he hasn't beat Roman yet, and if they're going to have him beat Roman, now's the time. The steel cage match between Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship.
It should have been me.
This might be worse than the Becky and Lacey match to me. Do you guys think Dolph Ziggler has any sliver of a chance of beating Kofi Kingston with how they've booked Kofi lately?
I'll be completely shocked if they do. I mean, why would Dolph Ziggler become the WWE champion now? There's no juice behind it at all.
No.
Not that I'm excited about Kofi being the champ and retaining the title, but Let's get him a better opponent. And by the way, who is the better opponent at this point? Like if you drop Ziggler out of the mix, who's the better opponent? We all know where this is going.
Yeah,
They're not building anyone
sadly,
else except one person. So I'm picking Kofi.
I'm also going to pick Kofi. There's not much to say about this, in my opinion.
You guys are probably gonna laugh at me for this one, and it doesn't fit at all with the Shane McMahon thing. But given the stipulation, giving them, they need something, even if it's something as bad as Dolph Ziggler winning. I'm just gonna choose Dolph Ziggler.
Don't do it.
Because
don't do it.
I don't really know why. I just have this
Good God Almighty.
I just have a weird gut feeling that something's gonna happen. It is a steel cage match, so he doesn't have to pin Kofi.
That is true. I forgot about that, actually.
Then you also look at the factor of the New Day being at ringside. Maybe Dolph trying to climb out, and the New Day like preventing him from doing that. But I'm just gonna choose Ziggler.
Okay.
I'm not gonna crap all over you for that. That's fair, based on your reasoning.
Anything is possible. That would be good. It would be a surprise. So that's not an outrageous scenario at all. It actually makes sense, but I'm going on the notion that they haven't been doing things that make sense, so why would they start?
I just think Dolph Ziggler is at his he's at his coldest point right now in terms of character and like in ring and stuff.
Well, they brought him back and gave him an immediate title push.
Yeah,
they didn't build anything.
To me, he's ice cold right now, and putting the title on him
he doesn't get a reaction or nothing.
I don't know. We'll see. Your B's reasoning about it convinced me a little bit, but I'm still going to pick Kofi.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just gonna go bold for the point system. Try to get.
That's fine.
Because I'm in last place right now.
I wasn't going to mention it, but I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
People are starting to realize
You guys
why.
probably you
kidding.
probably realize why.
They're bold, and that's fine.
I'm just trying to
It pays off sometimes.
At this point, I have to be bold now.
You predicted the big Royal Rumble correctly, the big Battle Royal correctly.
Yeah,
it's super
Mansoor winning.
Slowdown, so.
And then the Universal Championship. Seth
Is
Rollins.
this the last match?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
As of right now, I honestly have a feeling they will add a match like they've done a few times.
Okay.
You think they'll do like Andrade and Apollo Crews?
Something like that.
I also heard that.
there's no Intercontinental title match,
No,
is there?
I don't know where Finn Balor's been. And also, I was going to say on the pre-show they might do something like Ember Moon and Sonya Deville or something like that. But as of right now, this is the match card. And it looks kind of weak to me. I'm sure you guys agree.
So do you guys want to start with predictions for the special guest referee?
Yeah, so Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin for the Universal title. And there's going to be a special guest referee that's handpicked by Baron Corbin. B, if you have an idea, then go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have an idea. Knowing WWE, it's going to be someone stupid, like somebody from the catering crew. And it's just going to be just like a clean match that I could see them doing something like that. You have the Bray Wyatt factor. If he's the best thing that WWE TV right now has. So if you put him in the main event of a pay-per-view, people are going to be like...
Yeah, but think about what pay-per-view it is.
They're going to be wanting to watch Raw, though, even if they just hear results. Because if something like that happens, the headline of a news article that is going to be written is, there's definitely going to be Bray Wyatt's name in there.
So who's your prediction?
Bray Wyatt as the referee. I don't know how this would lead to either of them winning.
Well, I'm going to say that they're not going to debut Bray Wyatt till Monday. They're going to save him. There's the looming threat of the cash-in. They're going to still play off the looming threat of the cash-in. I still think Rollins is going to win. I think Paul Heyman is going to be the special guest referee. So you'll have that looming threat of Brock Lesnar at any time coming out, right? So Heyman is I don't know how Heyman will do as a guest referee, but that's my prediction. They'll loom the threat of Lesnar. Lesnar won't be there, won't show up. Somehow Rollins will still win the match and retain. I don't think Corbin is... I think he's a future world champion or a future Universal champion, but not yet, not now.
So I do have a question for you, and you could ask the same for my referee choice, but why would Corbin pick Paul Heyman? If Corbin wants the title, why would he pick somebody whose client
because he'll
has
know
the
that
briefcase?
Maybe he knows that Lesnar isn't there, and that it's just going to give him enough distraction to get one over on him, and knowing that Lesnar's not there to cash in.
All right, but you said you're picking Rollins, right?
I'm still picking Rollins, yeah.
All right.
But I do think it'll make the match very interesting if they do that.
I think.
So I did my both. Yeah, I did both in one, right? We were going to go with the referee first, but
Yeah, I think I'm gonna continue to be bold, and I'm gonna choose Baron Corbin. It's go big or go home right now for me with my points. So,
what's your reasoning behind the Baron Corbin pick?
I need the points.
Okay.
I don't really have another reason.
Josh?
So your guys back and forth just now kind of threw me off a little bit, but I think I'm gonna pick. So for the referee, I'm gonna pick Brock Lesnar, and the reason is because I think what's gonna happen is, so Baron Corbin everyone knows how Seth Rollins has been obsessed with Brock Lesnar the past few weeks. He's been attacking everybody who's gonna be the referee, and his whole title reign has been booked around Brock Lesnar. So I think Baron Corbin would pick Brock Lesnar, knowing that it's going to be in Rollins' head the whole match. And
Almost the same as the Paul Heyman concept.
yeah, that's true. But let's just say he picks Lesnar. He picks Lesnar because he thinks Lesnar is going to be able to distract Rollins the whole match and maybe get some cheap shots in on him and stuff, because he is the referee. He can do whatever he wants. And I think it's going to backfire on Corbin. I think Corbin's going to pretty much think he has the match won because he has Lesnar in his corner, basically. And Rollins is going to end up overcoming it. Rollins is going to beat Corbin, and Lesnar is going to count for Rollins. He's going to help him retain. He's going to try to attack Rollins. I don't think Lesnar's going to cash in, though. I think after Lesnar counts for Rollins and he helps him retain not helps him, but he allows him to retain his title when he tries to attack him, I just don't think Rollins is going to get cashed in on yet. I think Rollins...
Do you see, like, with either Heyman or especially Lesnar, do you see either of them counting 3 for Rollins, or do you see that match ending cleanly like that? I have a hard time seeing that match end cleanly, with you can see like Lesnar counting 3 with Rollins getting the pin, and there's what good does that do him?
So do you think he would count 3 for Corbin and then attack
Sure.
Corbin?
Maybe.
That does make sense too. I don't like... The whole situation is so many different things can happen. They could do so much.
Or they
with
could
this.
just completely throw us off, and it could be somebody we totally don't expect.
Yeah, I know.
Also, this is a very odd question, but if Lesnar's the referee and Lesnar's trying to cash in on Rollins or Corbin, who's going to count for him? He's going to count for
referee.
himself.
He'll have to call a referee now.
He'll get an official down there.
There's always one handy. The 24/7 referee's always running around.
Oh my God!
All the scenarios we just went through, there's so many different things they could do. I hope that it ends up as interesting as we're making it seem.
See, we're making it seem like it's going to be a 5-star show. Realistically, the referee is probably going to be somebody from the catering crew, as I said before.
Well, they've been booking it and pushing it pretty much. Like, they've been talking about it a lot on every show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you have faith in them to deliver on?
I hope, because it's not from a pay-per-view card. It's not.
They need something.
There's every match is just about a rematch. Most of them are, so they need to add a little something to this because remember, even though there's extreme rules, SummerSlam's supposedly the second biggest pay-per-view for the year. I think it's the Royal Rumble, but
they have to start building.
But they have to start building towards SummerSlam now. So they got to do something in this pay-per-view to start heading in that direction. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty boring and not entertaining for the fans.
Yeah, I think if they don't add anything else to this card by surprise, or maybe if they announce it a few hours before the show goes on, I think it's going to be an overall somewhat boring show, and I hope that's not the case, because I don't like wasting my time watching pay-per-views.
Especially 4 hours. Is this one supposed to be 4 hours?
Well, it starts at 7. I think it'll be probably over around 10 sometime.
Yeah, I agree. But that's Stomping Grounds. We got our predictions in. We're going to have a review up probably
Tuesday or Monday.
Monday or Tuesday for sure.
We could probably have it up late Monday, but definitely by the end of Tuesday we'll have a review up. And then from here on out, instead of doing a separate Raw and SmackDown review, I think for now we're just going to do a weekly roundup show where we discuss general topics that are going on, news, feuds, stuff, guys that are pushing, guys that are not pushing, stuff like that.
Or some rankings and ratings, or
yeah,
it could be like a variety of things in one show, and I think that'll be good for now. As we build our audience, we'll take suggestions. We definitely want suggestions and comments from people, and say, hey, we'd love to hear a show about this or about that. Give us topics to talk about. Raw and SmackDown reviews for us. We went in with that concept initially and then said, maybe that's not the greatest way to start. Let's start doing some other things, some other topics. We could have a list of things to talk about every week, or even ratings and rankings, and even answer questions that you guys might have for us as part of the show as well. So definitely, hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Podcast3G. Comment on our YouTube video as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like button. But definitely give us your feedback, and look forward to our results show early next week. And the results show, we may add another topic to that as well. But for now, I think, B, have anything else?
Nope.
Josh?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so this is 3G, and we will talk to you soon. Hopefully, you will all enjoy Stomping Grounds.